Welcome to the sixth episode of Black and White podcast. Shit went wrong last week, so we're doing it this week. And by last week, I mean like 2 months ago. Tonight we have a special guest who is Kevin Pringle from the Mavericks. And the regular hosts we have tonight are myself, Dylan Nelson.
Hi, I'm Ian.
I'm Stuart.
I'm Eric.
I'm Kyle.
And our guest, Kevin. Kevin, why don't you tell us about yourself?
I'm Kevin Pringle. I'm 21 years old. I'm a psychology major and a math minor, and I'm from Seattle.
You're not on the Black and White.
Oh, and I'm not on the Black and White. Yeah, fuck Black and White.
So tonight we are talking about game commentary and the HVZ game that just ended at Western. 8-day Wednesday to Wednesday. Total faff. Who wants to lead that part off? Any stories or hilarity or shittiness that ensued that week that you want to talk about first?
Yeah, I got one. It was the first time in a long time that I was actually like kind of scared, in a way. Like from day to day, it was sometimes a challenge getting from class to class. I actually had a couple engagements that had to happen between classes, so that was simultaneously awesome and terrifying.
Yeah, the zombies were absolutely brutal this game. Like, the zombies came out in force, the humans were new and didn't know what they were doing, and it was terrifying.
I think the new humans had a big hand in that. What was it, 3/4 new players this year?
Yeah, more than 75%.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was really interesting having like 78% or something like that new players, but they didn't understand the game really well, but they understood the spirit of the game really well. Like,
yeah.
Humans were running through Red Square, like trying to outrun zombies and tripping over their own feet and like potentially getting hurt, which is like we generally be like, you know what, just go on your way, like don't get hurt. And the guy's like, nah, I tripped over my own feet, it's my own fault. Like here's my humanity, and handed it up, and it's like, wow, like that's an interesting way to look at the game. That like if this were real, I would have died there, and that's why I'm giving up my humanity.
It seemed like there was a lot better, I don't want to say better, but there was a lot of good sportsmanship and a lot of not rage quitting when people get turned to zombies this game. And I was very happy to see that with a brand new player base, because that's a problem that all games have, is player drop off when people get turned.
Well, like Alpha Horde, I don't know how many of you knew about Alpha Pack. They were going to be vetting as a human team, and they got turned on the Thursday mission, and so instead of vetting as a human team, they're like, screw it, we'll vet as a zombie team, and they vetted in their official zombie team.
Well, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like taking a slight unfortunality and turning it into a positive.
It's also just nice to have people just, not getting disheartened by being turned into zombies and just going ahead and turning around, still having fun with it. That's what I was happy about with it so much.
Exactly.
Also, we really need more zombie teams. Good lord.
Oh yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, because it's them and I Heart Brains, and is that it?
Reapers,
that's right.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, Reapers.
And then there's also Cuttlefish, and then let's face it, I Heart Brains isn't really even a zombie team.
That's a good point.
If we're honest with ourselves, the only actual effective zombie team out there is probably this team that just got vetted, because I Heart Brains is done. Cuttlefish was kind of vetted as a yay achievement vetting thing, and Reapers is made up of a bunch of people who all play human.
Yeah, Reapers was more of kind of just like, we're zombies now, let's just kind of make a group.
Who was on the Reapers?
Mostly lots of people in black and white.
Reapers
I thought it was just Ian from Black and White.
It was me and Brooks, Kathy, Stefan, Connor Jolly,
Corey?
Corey might have been on there.
Natalie?
Natalie we were going to put on there after this game, but we all sort of decided that the team doesn't exist.
The Mavericks are gonna vet a zombie team for when they turn, and it's gonna be called Mavrect. And
They would.
Danny was playing zombie, and every time he got attacked, he would yell, "Get Mavrect." And so we're gonna vet a team in this next game when people start getting turned.
Clever.
So I think for me this game was really weird because I saw a complete the game was flipped on its head. As we've explained already, that the zombies were awesome the people who actually were out there playing had great sportsmanlike conduct for the most part, and the zombies were super into being zombies. What I wasn't prepared for as a moderator, a staff member, or as a player was just the amount of humans that did not give a flying fuck about any of the missions.
Yeah.
It was pretty disappointing.
Definitely.
I mean, I think that might have had something to do with the new player base not really knowing what truly to expect. It was stated at the registration that you only need to survive the final mission to get survivor status, which is why we had a really, honestly, pretty decent compared to the rest of the game turnout for our final mission.
Yeah.
Which kind of worries me because I might be reading too much into this, but it might be a sort of a shift in, at least in this class's view on what might be fun in the game, because in games past we might have had, a larger groups of freshmen come out for every mission just because the missions were fun and there, and I'm worried that because of the play style of the freshmen this game, it might shift into more of the to have fun in this game you have to win.
Well, I think part of it also comes in. I mean, this is a thing we've had game to game to game is, the big question of, who's going to come out and who's not. And we've always kind of had varied results on the players who really come out. And really what it comes down to is the people that come out to do missions are honestly the people that are the most invested in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, and we really do see slim numbers on not only human but zombie side as well. And typically it just tips towards zombie side because, I mean, zombies are just a little more free in how, they can really go around missions and stuff. There's not as much of a negative if you get shot as a zombie as it is to get tagged as a human. So usually, they're a little, I guess we get a little more enthusiasm on the zombies parts. And of course, as humans go down as well, they join the zombie side. So they usually get some reinforcements just by playing. But, sorry, go ahead.
I just have something quick to point out to that. In the past 3 games, for those of you who do not know, I am the missions leader. I run the missions for our game. The past 3 games since I started being trained and becoming like the missions leader, we have almost always had equal number human and zombie at the beginning of every mission, just as something interesting, until this game where we had 3 times the number of zombies as we did humans.
And who knows, maybe that number thing will shift in the humans' favor, because I mean, I don't blame new players for thinking, holy shit, a mission is where we're going head to head with zombies for an entire hour. Why the fuck would I do that? I'm hoping that people that didn't attend the missions this game will either see how much fun the missions were from other people, or will get over that fear, and come spring game, people will actually come out for them.
See, I think that's the problem right there, though, is the fact that it's something that people are worried about. Like they're fearing. Like the mission shouldn't be honestly something you worry about. It should be something you come to do because it's fun. Because I mean, day to day is cool and all, but typically, I mean, as a human player on WW campus, I mean, I talk to you guys about this all the time, and I realize it's because I play a very non-aggressive, non-combatant play style. But I mean, I'll be lucky, honestly, to even fight a single zombie in a single day. Not that I want to, but at the same time, I mean, it's like during day-to-day in WW, it's pretty quiet. That's why I like the missions. It really does pull you into an environment where you actually can kind of get out and play with people and kind of fight against the other people that are playing the game and stuff. It gives you a little bit more to do, I feel like.
That being said, we also haven't, I mean, aside from Final Mission, obviously, we haven't in the last few games haven't had catastrophic human losses at a mission, at least that I can remember, for the last couple years.
Last year fall game, the Saturday mission, we ended with 10 people alive out of the 34 who started.
Oh, ouch, I take it back then. Well, at least this game, it was all pretty mellow, mission-wise. The missions were intense, but we didn't seem to lose a giant chunk of people, not that we had a giant chunk of people to start out with.
Yeah, actually, that's a surprising thing to note, that even though this game did end with a total zombie victory, during the missions themselves, humans didn't take heavy casualties. It's just that zombies had just more people. It was just psychologically wearing.
It's a good note to say that the humans still lost all the missions, but they didn't lose people in losing those too badly.
Also, it's not like they lost them because they didn't try or something like that. It's just literally like we said, there were 3 times as many zombies. What you gonna do? Kind of thing.
What you gonna do?
I think it's mainly I was impressed by the humans that came out. I'm going to be honest and say that on most of the missions that I looked around, it was a lot of freshmen, or aside from some of the people I know and trust to be at least decent players, I would see these players show up and just be like, oh, fuck, we are so screwed. And every time, we would lose the mission, yeah, but we would do a damn good job at losing that mission.
The Monday mission, hold the 4 objectives where the humans were literally outnumbered 3-1. They just decided, screw it, we're not holding any of the objectives except for this one because it's in the most defensible position. And there were, I think, Ian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think there were 16 humans at the beginning of the mission, and there were 48 zombies. And they held it for 40 minutes out of the entire hour. It was incredible work by the humans. Like, the humans that showed up worked together and worked well, and the zombies played smart too. It was just really impressive play by everyone.
And that's what happens when the black and white takes control of randos.
Yeah, the few times in the history of ever that it actually happens. Another thing that was going against us on that mission was that we were pretty much fighting on 2, maybe more fronts for that entire mission, because we were in a tennis court on a hill, and the zombies kept running up on 2 or 3 sides trying to get through us. And yeah, it was a wearing mission, but it was still pretty fun to do.
I was surprised how well we held out at tennis court, because that was definitely the day we had the least number of humans.
Rest in peace, Dylan.
Rip in pieces.
So, if we're done with that, that actually brings me to something else. I would like to know how everybody died this game.
Why don't we start with you, Dylan?
Okay. So, that was Monday mission, yeah?
Yeah.
On the Monday mission, when we had 16 humans come out, we went to the ridge and held out, and I was trying to fill a hole in the perimeter between Corey and Court, and as Kyle mentioned, we were on a hill, and for those of you who are not familiar with the ridge, it's like cement and then steep hill and then cement and then more steep hill, so I was trying to fill in one of those holes, and when I went down to fill it in, first of all, I didn't check on the radio to see if I had Overwatch on me, which I should have, but I assumed that the person who was standing above me was watching. And they were not, which is not entirely their fault. I should have made sure they were watching. But I also turned to my left once I got to my spot, and I saw 2 zombies come out of the dorm, and they were going to come out right behind Court and Cody. So I went native, basically, which means I found those 2 targets, and I just kept my eyes on them. I stopped checking around me, and I was freaked out they're going to come up behind Court and Cody. And so I went to get on the radio, and because I wasn't checking my shit, I got tagged from behind after, I think it was Dario snuck up behind me. It was a super good tag. I didn't hear him coming at all. It was just smack, and like, oh god, I know what that is. And then rip in peace.
Rip in peace, Dylan. Rip in peace.
I guess we're going down the list. I died during the final mission. Since I was one of the people who is involved in writing all the missions, including the final mission, I cannot gain survivor status. I still went into the final mission because, in my mind, even if I can't get survivor, I would very much like to at least help other people get survivor. Our final mission involved humans going to kill zombie spawn points by shooting them, and I decided that at a certain point in the mission, the humans were held up enough and weren't moving enough, so I thought that I would just do a suicide charge, and I picked the wrong moment and spun around the corner to see 8 zombies looking at me, and stunned most of them, but a rough cut only has so many shots.
Rip.
Mine's not nearly as exciting as either of yours. It was Friday morning, so like 2 days in, and I was like, holy crap, I still have a 12-page paper due, 3 tests, and 3 labs this week. There's no way I have time to stay alive as a human, and I hugged Glenn.
You also got voted off the island.
I also was playing an NPC named Lucas, who went around and completed 3 of the 4 side objectives, and made the most progress out of anyone in the entire game. Me, Ian, and Cody went and did it on our own, and we got back, and it turns out I was being just annoying enough to Cody the whole time that he wanted me dead. So when it came time, the storyline was kind of like Survivor-esque, so they got to vote to feed me to the Horde because I pissed off Cody just enough that he was able to rally the crowd to get me killed. So that's, I guess, how I died the second time.
What a dick.
Double rip.
Yeah.
I did make him carry my agent bow and had my phone go off while we were hiding in the bushes surrounded by zombies.
That was the fucking worst. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh god, Eric was there, and I just hear your phone go, and I'm just like, oh shit, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. We're dead.
Oh, if you guys mind, I would like to tell that story really quick about how I almost got everyone killed.
Do it.
Okay, so Ian and Cody were my escorts for my NPC, and as missions leader, I have to have my phone on at all times, so if anyone calls me with a problem in the mission, that I can make a change to it on the fly. And so Eric, being the great moderator that he is, noticed that there were people playing tennis on the tennis court, which was going to be a respawn point if if the zombies touched the tennis net. So he calls me up. Little to his knowledge, I am 20 feet away from him, laying on a platform above him, and my phone starts buzzing from him. And so I look at it, and I can see him, and I answer it, and I'm whispering, just like, hello. And so he doesn't know what's going on. He thinks I'm busy, and so he starts whispering to me. He's just like, Kevin, hi. And I'm like, hi, Eric. And he's like, there are people playing tennis on the tennis courts. It's like, I'm like, okay, just touch the fence then, and you'll be okay. He's like, okay, bye, and just hangs up and just touches it and spawns in and walks away. And that was the most concerned I was that I was going to get everyone who was with me killed.
Operation
that was
triple
great.
Kill.
All right, I guess it's my turn. So I made it to final mission, just like Ian, and basically mine was kind of just like the usual final mission. We were really getting down to the wire in time, and so we kind of tried to make a final push. We had to kill the last zombie spawn point, which was at Steam Plant, and there was probably like 80 zombies, and like probably 20 humans. Probably not even that much, but yeah, we just got mowed down. No one survived.
Rip.
Mine's really simple. I just had never played zombie in a fall game, so as soon as I was done with my morning classes, I walked outside and gave my card to a zombie who looked like they hadn't gotten any kills whatsoever. And I succeeded in doing so, and she was super happy to finally get her first tag, not only in an HVC game, but also to get a moderator, which also gets you an achievement in our game. So it was cool making someone's day, and I had a lot of fun playing zombie the entire week.
Bush zombie, fuck
Rip.
you.
You know you
alright.
liked it.
So mine is take everything Stu said and apply it to me. We were in the same group leading that final push, and the zombies declared a charge when we were about 4 or 5 yards away from the final spawn point, and I saw Corey jump into a hedge, and I was like, I like that idea, so I did the same thing, and then I sat there for like 5-6 minutes maybe, just kind of stuffing my face into my arms so that my loud breathing wouldn't like give me away. But unfortunately, I had a demolisher strapped to me, which is a big hunk of orange. So somebody ended up seeing that and then like acting like they didn't see it, and then running around to the other side of the hedge and reaching over and grabbing me on the top of my head. So if everybody had dispersed, I probably would have maybe tried to do a little Leroy Jenkins thing out of the bush to the spawn point and then stun it and then try going for survivor, but I got head groped.
You got head crabbed.
I got head crabbed, so that was fun.
Rip.
So I want to tell a story real quick about Eric, the fucking bush blanket zombie. So Eric likes to run around with a green blanket that makes him invisible when he goes in a bush. So
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make
any sense. It's an invisibility
cloak. It's an invisibility cloak. So Saturday mission, we're stuck in the Smate building, which is a big building with a very nice half of the building as glass, so it's not the best building to hide in. And I look at the back door, and right as I open the back door with Court, I see Eric sit down in a bush. And I go, "Oh God, what is in that bush?" And I stick my head out the door, and I see Eric's face kind of just like whip around to the side, and he goes like, I'm like, "Oh God, Eric's in the bush. We can't go out this way." But that like raptor screech is the fucking scariest thing, because I didn't see like where you went once you went in the bush. I just saw like your leg go in the bush. So it's like the bush ate you and then growled at me.
I really honestly just had a lot of fun just making noises and following you guys around. Like, that was honestly way more fun than it should have been. I think one of my favorite moments was still when we were up on the ridge, and little backstory for people listening. We were trying to actually oust this person who'd been shooting Nerf guns out their window at zombies, so we staged this very elaborate zombies were chasing humans scenario, because apparently that's what pulled this person out last time, because shooting a blaster out of a dorm window is kind of a no-no. And so the entire time, zombies are kind of going after the people in this group, but not really, because, you know, obviously we're just trying to kind of stage this. And unfortunately, we didn't get the person out there, but I think my favorite moment was when you guys were coming down the ridge, and I slipped under a cement stairway on some like salal bushes, and then while you guys were there, I just kind of like golem like creeped out around the corner and wiggled my tongue at Court and Cody, and they were both like, "What the fuck?"
For those of you who haven't heard him before, Eric has a like a soundboard of different noises that he can make. So sometimes it'll be golems, sometimes it'll be a raptard coming out of the bush, and sometimes it'll be like an angry snake that has been half stepped on or something. I don't even know how to describe it, but you hear a fucking scary noise come out of the bush, and you know Eric is near.
I'm gonna come get you.
GG.
It's like, you know how the hidden sometimes has that like passive noise where it's like a large animal kind of purring mixed with like a fish breathing through its gills, and you know the hidden is nearby, but you just can't figure out where the fuck it is. That's exactly like what it is. So you hear like heavy breathing from Eric. It's like, "Oh God, is he a tree, or is he a bush, or is he a gutter? Where is he?"
How many times have you actually wondered if he's a gutter? Like,
dude, Eric is fucking 6'3", 210 pounds of absolutely nothing, just air. He could be wherever the fuck he wants.
The best way I've heard it put is, you are 6 foot 200 pounds of vanish.
Exactly.
I second that.
I love having that reputation.
Teach me your ways.
okay, like, looking across the steam plant plaza at you in that bush, if you hadn't stuck your arm like way out to wave at me when I was asking you questions, I would have had no idea you were in that bush.
Well, that was
I knew
actually
exactly
the reason
where to look, and I couldn't see you.
that's what I realized, because I've been in that bush multiple times through the week, and nobody's ever spotted me in there, because honestly, it's a really good cover, which is the point. But I actually stuck my arm out so that way you know I was there, so that way you know that nobody coming down that passageway was going to get down there easily, because I know you were asking people like, "Hey, cover the, eastern, pathway in," or something like that. And that's why I stuck my arm out. I was like, "I got it."
Which I greatly appreciate. Otherwise, we would have had like 28 survivors this game instead of none.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, Eric, I think you are the kind of official, unofficial black and white mascot, because you embody the single greatest ability and mentality of the black and white, which is just fucking nope. Just nope, nope, nope. Because I have never seen anyone with the ability to nope as hard as you nope.
I will take that as a compliment.
That's definitely a compliment coming from Ian, because he nopes pretty hard.
I do nope pretty hard, and I wish I could nope as hard as you do, Eric. Like,
Teach me how to nope.
teach me how to nope. Teach me how to. Okay, I'm sorry.
Stop.
You're done. Get out.
I'll just sit over here.
Friend was moved out of your channel. Friend was moved to your channel.
Suck my dick.
For those
Anyway.
of you who couldn't see what just happened, Dylan threw Ian out of our chat into a different lobby and dragged his ass back in.
Next subject. Or more of this subject.
I was so pissed off on the aftermath of Operation Papaya because I was finding my way through on the way back to the rendezvous point on my own, and then Natalie comes up and she had Rob pinned to her ass, and it was just, and Rob was just like, "Hey, where are we going, guys? What are we doing? Where are we going?" And I'm just like, "God, shut the fuck up!" So, yeah.
Guys, not gonna lie, every time I hear an HVZ person say a fruit name, my heart starts racing a little bit, and my head like goes on a swivel, and it's just bad news.
And black and white comes from the shadows.
Or Michael just runs at someone screaming and rips their head off.
Meat grinder.
That was Operation Pineapple, right?
Pineapple. Operation Pineapple led off with, "Does it look like it's gonna rain?" And when everyone said yes, Pineapple was uttered, and Michael, sweetest, nicest guy you've ever met. Blood rages. Just...
Mavericks shoved their arms so far up Umbrella's goddamn ass. Just...
and ripped
puppet.
their hearts straight out. Just up, grab, down, out. Game over.
So, a discussion that has been going on between the nerds of mainly black and white, but we've expanded it to a few other individuals in our HVZ, in the HVZ community, is the alignment of different players and teams. For those who don't know what an alignment is, it's a popular term coined in the nerd community around Dungeons and Dragons. What alignment is, it's a multi-axis scale that basically rates the moral compass and actions of an individual. There are basically, it's two slider scales of good, neutral, and evil. And the other way is lawful, neutral, and evil. Or not lawful...
Chaotic.
Shut the fuck up, I got this. Lawful, neutral, and chaotic. So, for example, there is lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, so neutral neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, chaotic evil. And these depend on, well, you know, good is an individual who is out for the goodness of a community, or, you know, to be a good guy. And evil is, you know, well, me. And law is someone who abides by either a personal code of conduct or the code of conducts laid down by society, otherwise known as laws or rules. And chaos is someone who does not abide by a code of conduct or purposefully goes against a chosen code of conduct. The discussion here is, what are the alignments of the HVZ teams at Western Washington? Or what are the alignments of the individuals on each team of Western Washington?
So you brought this up the other night, but what would you say the alignment of people on our team would be?
If you want my personal opinion, Black and White as an organization is an evil organization. which is funny because there are very few legitimately evil people on the team.
Yeah.
I think I am, after the departure of Ninja, all praise be to he, am the only truly evil individual left on the team. I can't think of anyone else. For explaining that, I'm the one who, during a LARP, decided it would be fun to murder multiple good NPCs because, fuck it, they had things I wanted.
Because fuck it.
So, while I am the only evil, I believe Kyle, actually, is a chaotic good member of our team.
I was thinking the exact same thing, actually.
Yeah, because Black and White definitely, 100% is a chaotic organization, because fuck the police.
Yep.
Kyle is a chaotic good because chaos, fuck the police, combined with Kyle's ability of everyone is a friend. There is no one else that I can think of that embodies that statement than Kyle. Eric, the fucking anomaly, is true neutral, I would believe, because Eric does what Eric wants, and he doesn't really have to say one way or another. He's not compelled to be good, he's not compelled to be evil, he's not compelled to follow law, he's not compelled to break those laws. So, in my mind, he's a true neutral individual on the team. Stuart, I haven't thought about Stu. Let's see. Stuart, I believe, is either... I think, by association, Stuart is chaotic neutral. Well,
Really,
I
I would have called Stuart lawful neutral, but that's outside looking in.
You haven't seen sleep-deprived Stu at 3 o'clock in the morning in a 24-hour event.
I will give you that, I have not.
But see, Dylan has a point, because I can be, chaotic neutral or lawful neutral or whatever, but then, as a team, we are evil.
That's one of the biggest things I love seeing of this whole dynamic with teams is someone could be in alignment going into a team, and it could totally flop the other way. Perfect example is Rob. Because to everyone on the outside, Rob is the nicest guy ever. But he has said some shit at fucking 3 in the morning at a LARP that scares me. That boy's a bloodthirsty psychopath, and I love it.
When the plan comes up in the middle of the night to go murder everybody in their sleep, he's
there.
Zealous. He's there. He's down with the plan immediately.
Shout out to Rob. Love you, man.
Rob.
Dude, Rob, we love you. Go keep
Rip in
being a
peace.
psychopath, dude. So, anyway, I believe Dylan is chaotic neutral. Probably, one of the greatest examples of a chaotic neutral individual. Probably more on the edge of chaos, of, definitely against the natural order of things, against those who would set laws before the needs of others. Neutral, I would definitely say, because while Dylan is not necessarily inclined to do the good thing all the time, you're also not inclined to be a fucking shit monkey all the time. So, those are the individuals in this room, plus one more, at least from Black and White. I have opinions on all the other teams and all the members of all the teams, but we're only here for an hour, so I don't want to fill that up. Kevin.
Where would you pin me?
Chaotic good.
I can see
Absolutely.
Yep.
I believe
Either that or neutral good.
I believe the majority of the Mavericks are in the chaotic or neutral good territories. I would have to say that the two that I believe are either neutral or evil are Alex Anderson and Michael Chun.
I feel like Michael Chun's got a switch where he goes from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah,
I think they're the quiet killers. They're the people who just sit there and just pretend that they're good like the rest of their team. They just pretend, and then when the team needs someone who's not, it's Alex Anderson and fucking meat grinder Michael Chun who goes and murders Stefan off in the woods.
So that's obviously from the outside looking in. And would you agree with that, Kevin, or would you have different specifications for your people?
Well, I don't know that I would Michael Chud definitely. Like, he sits on one end, like, forever. Hours. Like, I think, aside from the meat grinder incident, like, he sits on lawful good really well. But then something happens. And we don't really know what happens. And he kind of goes through this Jekyll Hyde sort of thing. And he just kind of swings to the other end and it's like, they're all dead. They're mine. Get out of the way. I'm not letting you help me. They're mine. Just, okay, Michael, you can have that one.
If y'all think it's gonna rain, then Michael Chun switches like a light switch.
Yeah, being Seattleites that we are, we thought, do you think it's gonna rain was the best keyword, best cue question for, should Michael kill everyone? Which the original plan was, should everyone kill everyone, but then it just turned into Michael going ham, so.
Here's the question for you, Kevin. Is Michael Chun slaughtering everyone a switch to evil, or a lawful good cleanse of the heathens?
I would totally call it a lawful good cleanse. I think Michael is lawful good in his alignment. His code that he holds is, my team comes first. And if my team asks me to do something, I am going to do it.
Yeah, that's
and so lawful. I think it's that sort of cleanse.
Well, that might be lawful evil then.
I don't know that I would say it is, because his where his alignment lies is with I would say as our team as a whole is a chaotic good team. We have if Derpy was an alignment, would be Derpy good, but but yeah,
I'll make a graphic and it'll just be kind of the Downy box off to the side.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'll take it.
A box with two titans.
Yeah, but I don't know that I would say we're inherently chaotic. We don't inherently try to go against the rules. We find that breaking the rules makes life easier at a lot of times. But we also realize that if we are consistent to people, they will be consistent towards us. So, like, if we keep a promise to if we promise someone, you can stay with us under these conditions, and they maintain those conditions, and we protect them, we have an ally later that we can depend upon. And we've done that in the past, and we have had incidences where people don't maintain their order, and we let them die because of it. So, we're somewhere in the good spectrum. I think Alex has the same sort of mentality of, this is my team, and then when he goes zombie, he switches to lawful evil or chaotic evil. But when he's a human, I would definitely say he's some sort of chaotic good.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you kind of have to as a zombie. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can kind of do what I did, where I just kind of, like, fucked around the entire game, but that was more because, honestly, I just didn't have the time to really be actively doing anything during the week. I was just so busy with fucking classes, so I decided to just kind of troll people. But at the same time, like, if you really do want to be a successful zombie, yeah, you do kind of have to lie. You do have to really kind of fuck around with people, or, give them misdirections, or, not be entirely honest. But that's just part of being zombie. It's the same as being a human. I mean, you do the exact same thing to zombies. Zombies come around and ask you as a human, hey, what are you doing? Oh, just going into class right now. Oh, okay. And, zombies wander off and then you run away because you totally didn't fucking have class in that building.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would also say that we're necessarily good, because if we see a human walking somewhere and they're not really watching their back, and a zombie walks up to us and shows no intention of moving, and they're just going to sit there and watch them, we'll be like, hey, just so you know, there's a human going that way that wasn't checking their back. And it was true enough times that Spicer started telling people, like, if a Maverick tells you where a human is, go there, because it's true. there's easy kills waiting for you. So I don't know that I could necessarily say we're good all the time, but I definitely think we have that tendency.
I have a rebuttal against that.
Okay.
I believe that is a good. I believe that still falls under the good spectrum because of the phrase that you use, that if your team is stuck. I think an evil perspective is what I did the entire last game. If I saw a human stupid enough to be out in the open, I would point zombies in that direction. If I
just
saw
always,
any human,
not just if it's to help you.
just always. I was sitting on a building and I saw a guy that I like. He's a cool guy. I instantly got Khaleesi's attention, and her horde was like, "Dare now, go! If you run around."
Who'd you sell out?
He was the guy in full tricolor with the disc shooter.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd sold him the fuck out. He made it out alive. Good for him. But I just kind of wanted to see everyone die. But
Confession time: I sold out Chris Paul for entertainment value.
You
I
sold out for a
walked-
Klondike bar?
I would have, if someone offered me a Klondike bar, I would have. He was kind enough. I was like, "Hey, I need to get to comm in 15 minutes," and I was on the other end of campus, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go with you." So he walks with me down Human Highway, and we're chit-chatting and watching our backs, and he drops me off at the back door, and he's like, "Okay, bye," and he turns around and leaves, and he's heading back north, and I walk in, and there's 3 zombies standing there, and I go, "A human just went that way by himself." And they're like, "What?" And they look really excited, and I'm like, "Open the door carefully, he's really good." And they're like, "Okay," and they like creeped out the door and then pitter-pattered after him, so...
that's funny.
Chris, don't hate me.
Chris is actually a very close listener to this, so he will definitely hear that.
Damn it! Chris, don't hate me.
Just a quick interjection here. We got like 10 minutes left.
I
Cool for cats.
can't think of a time if I've sold anybody out or not. Somebody else has always said it.
You've definitely been
And
around.
that's why you're on the good alignment.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, I'll pop out a door, and there'll be 3 zombies all just, like, kind of out there watching me. And then there's, I mean, a human walking by, but that's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the zombies and on my blaster discipline and all of that type of stuff. And typically I can handle 3 zombies, so...
That is like
I
the
just-
number one difference between Black and White and Maverick. You summarized it right there. You said the word discipline with blaster discipline. Mavericks stop and think to themselves, and they go, "How many of these zombies can I stun with one Titan rocket?"
What is the answer?
Our record is 2 in game. Out of game, we have substantially more because if you get people to stand at a slight angle, it'll just kind of graze off of all of them.
Well, you could also consider the shotgun thing on the Titan.
Oh, if you count the shotgun thing on the Titan, Luke actually had an incident where Luke is our member who likes to wield 2 Titans simultaneously. He straps them to his back and runs around with both of them.
If you
Not
don't know
because
what it
it's
is,
good
it's a
or
fucking
convenient.
Nerf bazooka.
Yeah, Dill, put up a picture of it.
I will.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty impressive. He runs with 2 of these things fully constructed. It's a 3-piece shotgun pistol bazooka strapped together. And he had one on his back and he had one in his hands. And he realized that he had way more zombies coming from way more directions than he could handle. And so he let go of one and started running. And he got all the zombies behind him by accidentally hitting the fire everything button with his butt. And he hit 3 of the zombies and 2 other ones jumped out of the way, so it was really impressive.
On the note
Mavericks.
of Mavericks. On the note of differences between teams, I've been curious for a while, and I guess I never thought to ask, what does it take to get on the Mavericks? Because we've on the show we've talked about what it takes to get on our team, but what does it take to get on yours?
They have a written test.
Yeah, dude,
You
we have
do?
a written test. Well, I mean, it's kind of a written test. There are 5 questions, and they're all multiple choice questions, and there are 6 answers, and 5 of them are right. Yeah, so, like, one of them is, like, with the running joke, does Kevin suck? Is one of the questions.
Okay, that
and
answers
the only
obviously
wrong.
yes.
Well, there's a lot of different right answers,
Oh.
and the only wrong answer is only a little. So there's like yes, a lot, so much, the most, something else, and then only a little, and only a little is wrong. And we have other questions like, what is the best video game of all time? And I think the only wrong one is, why can't I think of it? People use it for prank calls all the time.
Oh, Battletoads?
Yeah, Battletoads. The only wrong answer is Battletoads. But really what it takes is like you approaching us, saying you want to be a part of our team, and then really integrating yourself into our friend group, because we are not a corporation. We are not a foundation. We are a group of friends who really like playing HVC and really like doing other things together.
Foundation.
Rest in peace.
Rip. And I suppose once we decide you can be on the team, you have to go through an entire mission carrying our giant-ass flag using only a Maverick.
Oh god, that's
I
right.
seriously love that.
If you die, no big deal, but you have to do it.
Dude, that looks like a lot of fun, honestly. I'd be totally down for doing something like that.
You essentially fail if you let it touch the ground, and that's where the original joke Kevin sucks came from, is someone was actually going through the process, and it was during that Saturday mission that I brought up earlier, where it went from 34 members to 10 members alive at the end. Someone was carrying the flag for that, and it was getting in everyone's faces, and it was a problem, and so I grabbed it and I threw it off to the side, and they can't say you failed the test because, well, I was one of the members who started the team. And so everyone was really mad, and we were having a Maverick meeting, and people were really mad at me, and they're like, basically, Kevin, you just suck, and they go, Kevin sucks, and call a vote for it, and so now, every time I do anything minutely wrong, people yell, Kevin sucks, and call a vote on it.
Another question I have to ask is, what on earth is a Maverick meeting like?
Yes, please.
Smash Bros is involved,
Smash
guessing.
Bros.
You are not wrong with Smash Bros. Maverick meetings, depending on how serious they are, there's two types. We had one at the end of game where we got all the Mavericks who are moderators together, and we started talking about people who asked us to be on the team. And so we started by talking, and then it kind of turned into all of us just kind of joking around and making jokes as to why we couldn't let certain members on, and then why we should let certain members on, and most of them were related to whether or not they would lower our average penis size on our team. And then it proceeded onward into Mavericks trying to figure out what they should do to close out a meeting, and we landed on everyone was going to hold hands in a straight line, and then the person on the outside rolled inward. So we all ended up rolling up like a cinnamon roll into like a big hug sort of thing, and then started jumping up and down. And
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. You guys really love cinnamon rolls.
Dude, cinnamon rolls are the best.
To be fair, they
and then, like our more serious ones start with us sitting down, like talk. Generally, whoever shows up early plays Smash Bros. Until everyone else shows up, and then we stop playing Smash Bros. And then arguments break out, and then people are like, "Okay, pause," and then they play Smash Bros. To calm back down, and then they go back to.
I would like to sit off to the side and just observe and not be anywhere near it, but just like watch.
Yeah, not like take part
Outside in?
but
Yeah.
watch. Hide under the couch or something.
Underneath the couch is not safe. Last time we had a meeting, last time we had a serious meeting, we were gonna make our flag, and we got a big bolt of fabric for it, and Luke just grabs it and like hangs it around his neck and goes, "This would make a great scarf," and whirls it around, and it looked fabulous on him, and we're all just like, "Luke, how?" And then he proceeded to do a modeling show for us, wearing our flag as his scarf. And then we started making jokes about him, and he crawled underneath the couch. So I wouldn't say that the couch. No, he tried to crawl underneath the couch, and he didn't fit, and so we gave up.
That's a surprise.
Well, it's a tiny brown leather couch. I mean, not much fits underneath. I mean, Mavericks are pretty interesting people.
Just put me in the room. I'll find somewhere to hide.
Honestly, you should just try to partake, and when you don't fit in, we'll just know you're not cut out for the Mavs. I mean...
That would be a strange thing. A combination black and white Maverick meeting.
It would be the best meeting of all time.
I feel like it would end up with several people
or the
being
worst.
murdered.
Oh, the last in that same meeting, I don't remember if it was Slink or Alex. Either one got, I think maybe both, got shot in the dick with the Titan, and within 3 feet, hurts pretty bad. Because that thing is pump up and doesn't really have a stop point. It just kind of lets you keep pumping and then makes a really solid thunk noise when you fire it. And it just... Oh, that's how we passed off who was allowed to talk, was we shot the Titan at them. Nice. Which was really helpful to controlling communication. Needless to say, we don't get much done at our meetings.
I feel like I'm gonna die.
I love it.
Then it just goes to show how different teams take this game to... they have a different attitude toward the game.
It's good though. It fits in with the team's style. I mean, yeah, a group of friends, then be friends. Why not?
Like the Mavericks are great, and I love all of you. And being like kind of semi-ingrained into your friend group is one of the better things that has happened to me up here. Quite honestly.
Aw,
absolutely.
Michael Chun, fight me.
Dude, be careful, man. Don't try to fight the Mavericks. Most of them have some sort of martial arts background pretty severely.
Dude, you could break both my legs and I'd still fight a Maverick. I don't give a shit.
You wanna... Which Anderson do you want, Glenn or Alex?
Give us both swords and let's do it right now.
Let's go right now. Bring it on, you little wank.
They would honestly put down the swords and let you keep yours and then go for it.
Alright, are we actually talking like a real fight here? Because I'm not that dumb. Because if you actually were like, alright, you and Alex are gonna fight, I would probably like sneak into his apartment the night before with like my culinary knife set and like slash his Achilles or something.
Wow.
No walking for you, bitch.
And then it might be an even fight.
Can you just see that, like, Ian trying to climb in his window with, like, a souffle knife or some shit?
I imagine Ian getting right outside the window and rolling out his culinary knife set and, like, pulling them out, looking at it, and then, like, pulling himself up to the window, like, comparing the knife to his leg, and then, like, climbing back down and switching out the knife, putting it in his mouth, and climbing up and through the window.
See, that'd be really funny if, like...
I already know what knife I'd use.
Please entertain this. Which one?
The scimitar knife is a knife used specifically for meat fabrication. It has a nice curved blade, so you can get more of torque when you're shoving it through cartilage and muscle.
Alrighty.
Well then.
Well, that
My
got
name is
quickly.
Ian Patterson.
The practical
I'm here to give you a man boneless steak. Now for
Sneak
only
into that
5
fucker's
payments of
bedroom and cut his
$19.99.
Used in the last crusade.
I just googled what these things look like, and I'm cringing and crying a little on the inside thinking about that and never happening.
Dude, they're amazing.
Anyway, I think we're up on time here with that incredibly dark and unrelated note. We will end. Thank you everyone for listening tonight. Thank you, Kevin, for being here tonight.
Yeah, anytime.
What is our disclaimer? Any voiced opinions are only the opinions of those voicing them. All advice given here is to be taken with a grain of salt, and if ever applied, only applied where applicable. Everyone, thank you for listening. We will be back next week or the week after with episode 7. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, people.
Bye.